All right, folks. We had a couple of different things we were planning about talking about. We always come up with these plans. We try and make like a particular subject, and then we just veer off like crazy, and that's kind of what we like to do anyway, whether we're speaking in front of a microphone or not.
It's kind of like a Grateful Dead show.
Yeah,
Or so I hear.
but it's yes.
I bet
I've never.
I bet it could have been really awesome, or really shitty, from what I hear though too.
Yeah, as you know, it is February. Most people, whoever's working for a living out there, has probably certainly got their W-2s, and like most Americans, when are taxes due? April 14th?
15th.
15th? Okay,
Yes.
well, like most Americans, you're probably going to turn your taxes in April 14th. But there are a couple of folks out there who I've heard about on the YouTubes and other places where, usually for their entire working career, they would work, they'd get their W-2, they'd file their taxes, and usually, depending on if you got kids or not, you know, you're expected to get about anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 back. Well, some of these people who their entire, either from 15 to 25 year to 30 to 40 year working life, they're turning in their taxes early and finding out they're actually owing money after decades of at least getting something back.
God damn, is that what you've been hearing this year?
I've heard 3 or 4 different stories.
People that usually got back and now they're owing.
Yeah, now this is
Wow.
actually, well, this is the thing. This is actually less than anecdotal because it's nobody that I know, but I've seen a couple of different people, YouTube short people, the YouTube shorts, not little people making YouTube videos. But I am kind of curious about that because typically I won't really wait until April 14th. I'll get my stuff done right at the beginning of March,
Yeah.
But it almost makes me want to like do them right away just to see if I'm one of those people who owes, because I've got nothing that they're going to take away from me, and I've always paid extra into taxes, and these are some of the people who have been like, they're upset. Like every year I would get something in returns, and all of a sudden I owe. It doesn't matter if it's $5 or it's $500. It's like, what the fuck's going on with our tax money, man?
I know we already pay enough. I don't know. It gets me nervous. I was relieved the last couple of years because, when I did a little switch up a few years back, I put it down to pay the most in it because I didn't want to owe again.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I still feel like I get totally fucked.
Oh, yeah.
Take a third of your fucking money for the year, you feel like you're fucked a little bit, at least a third,
But
so you almost expect something back.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You're not,
Because it's not like that money's going anything to help the area you're in, or
dude. I remember hearing
help
this,
society around here.
oh man, I can't wait to get my money back from the government. It's like, and a lot of people think of it like that. Like, no.
That's your fucking
you
money.
paid into that, and you actually overpaid, so they gave you back whatever. And if you're like me and you just put your fucking W-2 information into fucking TurboTax or what the hell ever, it's arbitrary. What is it? How much of my money, let's say I don't know what the average McDonald's employee works. I assume it used to be somewhere around 25 to 35. It's probably closer to 45 now with the fucking minimum wage going up. But, what is it? Okay, so what? For every, $10,000 you make a year, you owe like 1% until you make 25%, and then you can fucking get some, tax genius to start fucking coming in and, hey, you know what? Instead of, paying your taxes like a fucking schmuck, why don't you put some of your money into charities? And why don't you put you get taxed twice as much for producing money than you get for investing it. If you're investing your money into whatever, you're not creating anything. You're just investing your money into property or gold or whatever. And you pay, 25% of the taxes.
You know what? There's a good chance you're pocketing people that are fucking you, too. It sucks to look at it that way, but
oh yeah. Well, no, but that's the thing though. It's just weird though, because whether you agree with what the tax rates are or not, the point is that this government rakes in this much money in taxes, and you hear about these numbers once again. The Republicans are asking for $3 trillion for this, and the Democrats are asking for $1.5 billion of this, and then it's just like, wow, these numbers are so high.
It's
that you
stupid
don't,
high, man.
but they report on it like it's nothing. Like it's like one side will say that's not that much, and then the other side will be like that's way too much. This is the American people's money, and then it goes both ways. There's no one side that's championing how much of our money gets spent, because what we were just talking about, we're funding. Whether you like to say it like that or not, we're funding two different wars.
Yeah.
And then it's like you take a picture of a pothole that you've seen for 2 years, and you're like, click on that pothole. It's like, why is, if we're giving this much money to these countries to fund wars, okay, you know what? Let's say that it was a road, because 2 years, what was it? When did it start? When did the Ukraine-Russia conflict start?
That's going on 3 years.
3 years. Yeah. Okay, well, let's say that there was something that was wrong 5 years ago.
3 years this month,
dude. Route 3 is constantly being repaved. It's like, okay, cool. That looks like our money's getting spent good, but man, I'm just talking about a road.
But dude, you talk about those wars.
Our libraries suck, and this is just here.
I mean, you take the one war in the Middle East. You got a country right there that we give them money, separate checks. Some just to give them, I guess, and then others for their defense and their military.
Oh,
we just give it to them. It's an alliance.
Well, I mean,
where it's one side putting out for everybody.
Well,
and then this war gets started, and they start saying shit. We need to help fund this war and everything. They don't word it like that, but fund this country. And it's like, we already set aside money annually for that, so we're just going to give them that much more. And this country's known for stealing our military secrets and everything else. I think they get enough.
Yeah, well, the thing is that, I don't
want to give them shit.
No,
but, that's just me.
Well, that's the thing.
I don't want to give the other countries shit either.
We've got everything solved here. We got everything solved here where we're spending our money responsibly to take care of this country. That we've got a surplus, we can take care of those countries. Awesome. Do we? Obviously, we don't. So it's like
we're in dangerous territory, man.
Here's
not an economist, but from things I've read and listened to, I mean, we're really close to our GDP being we're not bringing in as much as what we owe, and that's dangerous fucking territory.
Yeah, dude.
Freaky as shit.
Well, that's the thing. You know what? We were talking about this also earlier. Folks, I know that we've got like 12 subscribers, and I pay attention to the views that we get. Don't worry, it's not very hard. We got 12 subscribers. We get about
we appreciate you all
11 to 14 views, and that's fine. But here's what I'm saying. If all we reach are the people that we've reached so far, spread this. Every time you see something taxpayer funded that ain't running the way it's supposed to be, take a picture of it, comment on it, record it, post it, and say, why Israel and Ukraine? And then don't worry, those are just the two right now. Pretty soon you'll be able to say, why Israel, Ukraine, and Taiwan. Yeah, and you just say that. Every time you don't like how our tax money is being spent, take a picture of it, document it, post it, and say, why these countries when our country's like this. And this isn't a unique opinion. There's tons of people who think the way we think, and it's not even like regular jerk offs like you and me. There are influencers and reporters and journalists out there who are saying the same thing. Like, why are we spending this money on other countries when our country is a shithole?
Yeah.
And yeah, just you know what I think
it's almost like people are purposely trying to sink it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
When people
start a movement, everybody, every time you see something that in this country that your taxpayers are funding and you don't like the way it's running, report on it and say, this isn't working. Why are we funding something else? Just everybody. If everybody does it, if it becomes that big of a meme, hopefully people, at the very least, our corrupt politicians will be like, the people don't really like this. We're gonna have to change at least for a little bit. You know, we can start our wars when we've got a surplus.
The way you got to look at it is though, you definitely need people that are like that are at each other's throats because they're on opposite ends, and I get it. You know, there's plenty of people that hate what I have to say, but I'll listen to what anybody says, and I'm guarantee you there's people on certain sides of things where there's things I can agree with. If you listen to each other, you'll find that common ground of like, oh wait, we're all getting fucked right here.
Yeah.
And it's the people that are they got the people that are getting fucked going at each other's throats and blaming each other like it's each of them doing it, when it's like, no, it's these fucking dumbasses at the fucking top on both fucking sides doing it. There are people that are speaking out about certain things that are right, but at the same time, there's so many that are bought and paid for, man.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. It's like, hey, man, go up to somebody who's, you know what, different political belief, different race, different gender, different sexual orientation, and just be like, hey, man, you lose sleep at night because you know you worry about paying the bills and taking care of your family. Yeah. Hey, me too. Do you think Nancy Pelosi does? Do you think damn it, I had it right on the tip of my tongue. We were just talking about the guy.
Mitch McConnell?
Mitch McConnell. You think Mitch McConnell has to worry about that shit? No. Oh, man. Well, it looks like you and I, who are way different than two, you know, rich white people, you think they're losing sleep about taking care of their families? No. Oh, man. Hey, how many houses you own? One. Hey, man, me too. How much you think they own? How many houses? Hey, how much money you got in stocks? Man, nothing, man. Hey, me either. You'll find out that most average people have more in common, whether it's physical or whether it's monetary or whether it's emotional. Yeah, it's like, hey, man, we're all tired of getting fucked.
Yeah. But at the same time, with certain sides, I don't, and it's because of the way our government is, there's certain sides that want to like give all this power to the fucking government that's already fucking you.
Yeah.
So they to assume that you're going to get taken care of and there's going to be all this stuff for you. Don't get me wrong. I was just telling you, healthcare. You know, people want government funded healthcare. You know, I was just telling you, I'm weird about that because I think the government fucks everything up. You know, they're never accountable for anything, so they'll fuck that up. But if it was one or the other, I'd rather have my tax money going towards whatever kind of healthcare I could get before I throw in to these fucking foreign wars that do nothing for us but possibly get us sent over there to get fucking killed.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so
yeah,
I get that, but it's people on both sides at this point that are wanting all this shit. It's usually people that are embedded pretty deep that want this shit.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, again, I don't want, but I mean, people need to reach common ground, like an agreement on that stuff. I don't know. It's hard. Some people don't get it because there's also a lot of people that, you know, they have their lives and they don't want to hear somebody whose voice means nothing say something about it. It's like, I don't like to think about that stuff, but if you get certain people, you know, that have notoriety, I guess it means more and people pay attention more. But you just try to, maybe if more people put the word out, who knows about stuff. Shit's fucked up either way with it. Taxes, everything. We're getting fucked like a motherfucker.
Yeah, well,
Too many
and,
fucks. Trying to cut down on the fucks.
I think it was about I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 years ago. I was talking to a coworker, about taxes and stuff, and how they're not spent properly, and that's a tale as old as taxes. We pay you this money, and you're not spending our money right. Yeah, that's because typically by the time it leaves the government agency where it was allocated to be redistributed, it'll hit a union leader or a middleman or a superintendent or a vice principal or whatever, and then the money will end up the as many people as you have to send the money down to, the less there will be to actually get something done, and that's how it goes. But he's like, well, what's your plan? How would you change stuff? And I mean, I was on a roll, but I didn't think that these things were, unreasonable. And I just started spouting them off. He's like, well, the first thing was, if you work for the government, yearly salary capped $100,000 a year. That's the cap. That's not where you start off.
Oh, for the government?
Yeah, $100,000. Hey, you know what? $100,000 a year, you should be able to afford a decent life. And if you're thinking right now,
I will say you say that, and maybe it's because of this. People in major metropolitan areas will shit Northern Virginia, man. Mm-hmm. It's outrageous. But now I know there are people that don't live within their means, and I get what you're saying. It's a government job. And then with the benefits they get too. All right, what you're saying is definitely fair enough, but to live in the area you work in and do that.
Well, here's the thing. I think you're thinking of $100,000 right now. You don't understand. $100,000 a year. Every year you get $100,000, and you should be able. Like, I don't make $100,000 a year. If I did, I feel like I would be in a pretty comfortable situation compared to what I'm at right now. And if you were a person working for the government who is making decisions that affects how money works, and you only can make $100,000 a year, don't worry. Those policies will change right quick. That's how it'll work. Why would you fuck yourself over to where you couldn't live within those means? No, you're going to make decisions as a government employee that will benefit you as somebody who makes $100,000 a year. Next thing is term limits.
Dude, that's a big one. But the shitty part with that is,
boom,
they gotta vote for it themselves. That should be on a national ballot, and that would be one of those things the people would. You'd have like such a yes on that from both ends of the spectrum.
See, that's the thing. The thing that I threw at you about term limits, and the thing that I'm suggesting about a government salary cap. Guess what? If those were movies in a movie store, sorry to date this reference, you could fucking put that shit in the sci-fi section because you ain't ever gonna see that shit.
No. Nope. And the funny part is, you bring that up with capping it. I believe federal workers were all just given a raise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's fine. No, that's fine. But how many people are doing worthwhile jobs for the government? How much of it is just make work, where you sit in an office until somebody says, hey, did you alphabetize these documents? No, I hadn't done that yet. Thanks for giving me something to do. Well, I better earn my fucking $30 an hour at this office job. No, you get rid of that shit. Who was that guy? Who's that crazy fucker in Argentina?
Oh, God damn it. Milei? I forget. I don't know how you say his last name. But the sideburns and the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Apparently their currency is real shit right now because of stuff that he's done. But He said they were going to have economic shock, though, but they
Yeah,
were in
of course
such
they are.
inflation. It was
Dude,
like
yeah.
it's almost like it had to be done to start healing shit. He'll probably get voted out, and right as they get somebody else in, watch that shit will start to get better, and they'll put it right back to where it was at. It sucks.
Yeah, man.
I mean, he
Not
tried
like
to
we've
tell
never done,
people.
not like we've ever dealt with that here.
Yeah.
You'll have one party come in and say, purport that they brought us into a surplus.
But see,
And then
the
you'll
one
have the
thing,
next party come in and say, "Oh, I've got a bunch of trials and tribulations to get through. I got to spend this surplus." And and then the previous party will. I mean, dude, they did it with Obama. They did it with Clinton and Bush and Obama and Trump. Each side taking credit for a surplus or not, acknowledging a deficit. It's hilarious. It's the same pattern we go through. What he needs to do is keep that ideal going. But you know what else I saw, dude? It was another YouTube short. Man, I wish I could have remembered the guy's name, but there's a guy who is, I don't know if he was...
Javier Milei, I guess is how you say his
Let me
name.
see here. Javier Milei.
Javier. Okay.
Now, can you do me another favor since that came up so quick?
Yes.
Look up El Salvador, and if they have a new, I don't know what they have. I don't know if they have a prime minister.
Dude, that
or a
dude is
president.
badass.
You're
He
talking about-
crushed
so
the fucking game.
What's his name? What's his name? Because I saw
gonna
that
look-
just today, dude.
The reason why I know is because of coworkers.
Really? That makes sense.
Their families love that dude. He was like,
Good, dude.
He grabbed the fucking gangs by the nuts. Some call him a dictator. I don't know. He must be doing something to piss off the U.S. government, so that's why he's being called a dictator.
it's going to be harder for us to get cocaine
That's right.
and heroin
I believe
now.
he's middle. Nabib. I don't know how to say that fucking last name, but he put the fucking hammer down on the fucking MS-13 and the gangs over there in El Salvador, and apparently shit has been
Nayib.
coming back.
Nayib Bukele?
Or Boulay, I don't know.
There's a K in it, but
He's a Muslim guy. I believe he's from the Middle East, though. I have to look it up. That's what some of my coworkers told me that are from there. I didn't really know much about the. I never see shit in our news
here we
about
go.
him.
Nayib Bukele. I'm looking at the Spanish
He's
pronunciation.
been in since what, the end of the last decade? Like,
Businessman, 43rd president, serving since 1 June 2019. Wow, he's been there for a while.
yeah.
I've just now been hearing
guess
about him
this
on
would
YouTube Shorts.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I've heard. I had coworkers tell me about him about a couple of years ago when he first. I mean, he didn't fuck around. Apparently, when he came in there, that dude's not bought and paid for, pretty much. Which a lot of those Central American governments, when I hear people talk about some of these places they come from, these governments. Officials are owned. I mean, you might get some people here and there, but then their lives are threatened, their families threatened.
That was
It's
the
a
thing I
fucked up
saw on-
cycle.
that was the
This
thing I
dude
saw on
came in
YouTube,
and was
dude.
like, and like put the fucking boot on.
He
him.
was talking to a bunch of soldiers out in a field, and he was bringing up a lot of stuff about dude. I mean, if he's Muslim, whatever. But
Oh no, it doesn't matter. But I remember the guys telling me
like
that.
he was talking about, he was like talking about religious values and family values and not dealing with these corrupt politicians and these corrupt killers and stuff. And the way that it was shot, it looked like a promotional video, like he's running this year or something. But still, I was like, man, this is the first time hearing
Dude, there
about
are
it. And,
people
dude,
that
I
talk
don't
about
know
him
a
like
whole
he's
lot
a
about it.
dictator. But in terms of people that I work with that came from that country and that have family that are still down there that they talk to on the regular still, obviously they like that. I've never talked to El Salvadorians that like their fucking leader before. They always our government corrupt, our government's fucked up. Good chance it was probably because of our government too in some ways. Hate to say it, man.
I don't come
sucks.
across that many that many people, but I remember you telling me about that.
Oh, El Salvador a lot, and dude, it's the little country, man. It's the best country in the world. It's beautiful, but a lot of pride. I never heard them have pride in their fucking government until some of them talk about this guy.
But isn't it weird how bad stuff has to get?
Yeah.
To have somebody come in like that. These are small countries. Every 4 to 8 years, man, we get like some savior that comes in. And at least in the past, 15 to 20 years since I paid attention to politics, it just seems like, okay, he's the savior. He's gonna bring us out of economic strife. And then it's just like, okay, well, I make more now than I did 5 years ago, but I'm still living paycheck to paycheck. What the fuck is going on?
You ever notice when they try to pass shit in this country, since I know our adult lives, and I believe left or right, anybody could agree to this. It could be something that's coming up for a vote that certain side really wants. There's certain compromises, but that thing's always going to get shot down. It's either shit gets stopped or it's gridlock, anything that could possibly help people, even though there's always all this fucking bullshit in the bills. But anytime it's like funding somebody else or fucking covert under the table shit, or stuff for pretty much stuff for the government,
Oh yeah,
makes it through every time.
Well, we were talking about that, dude. You know what? Any bill that's passed, doesn't matter if it's something you agree with or disagree with, find out what that bill is.
Because there's always shit in there that has nothing to do with what it's
two
for.
or 300 pages of just legalese and gobbledygook. And then, dude, this has been within the past, 10 years. What was it? Nancy Pelosi? Oh, you have to vote on it before you can see what's in the bill.
Oh, Obamacare.
That was what that was on. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just...
How the fuck do you say that out
Whenever
loud?
anything is passed from now on, you know what? If you're too lazy to, or if you got if you got the money,
it so bloated, dude. That
if
thing
you got
was
the
over
money,
1,000 pages.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, if you got the money, if you got the time, read the bill. If you care
have
to,
a group of people, you read the because when they're
I'm
big,
I'm talking about regular jerk offs.
Yeah.
Just so you know, because that it's like, you know what? Find a lawyer. Be like, hey, I'm just a regular person. I can't make hide nor hair of this. How much will it cost for you to read this and explain it to me?
And dude, all it'll take, they'll pass the most fucked up shit when crazy shit happens. COVID, fucking 9/11, the Patriot Act.
Oh yeah.
People act like, oh, it's for the better of the. They had that shit written up and set aside before 9/11 happened, dude.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
And now they use it against the citizens of this country.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. I mean, the only thing that really has affected me with the Patriot Act, personally, when I got my bank account, you need 2 forms of ID and a bill that proves that you live where you live. And then it's like, okay, well, why do I have to do this now? I didn't have to. Well, because of the Patriot Act. And I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff that I don't recognize.
Did you ever get your real ID?
Not yet.
I didn't realize we were all going to have one. I thought it was just easier to get on base. So
that was the original idea. Now it's like you want to leave the country. Fine, you need this ID. And I'm not like dragging my feet on it because
I don't blame you. I'm not going to the fucking DMV.
I'm not making any kind of political stand on that one. I don't want to.
It's the DMV.
Yeah, I don't want to stand in the DMV. You know what though?
Man, you got everybody on your side with that one.
I'll tell you.
Nobody wants to go to that fucking.
You know what, man? The DMV's okay. Here's another example. You're in the DMV. Right? You go in there. The one where we live, what do they got? Fucking 20 counters, right? It'd be 20 counters. There'd be fucking 500 people waiting in the lobby and a row of people waiting out the door. They got 3 people working. It's like looking at Walmart. You'll see hundreds of registers and only like 2 people working.
Yep.
And then you got to go and like ring up your own shit. And then one person can watch like 8 machines. But anyways, I digress. Although I would like to go back onto those machines. No, it's damn, what were we talking about? Before the machines. At Walmart. I lost track.
Well, you compared Walmart to like going there to the self-checkout and all the lanes and or something.
There's a point before that. That's all right. Too bad, folks. We'll have to put an addendum onto that one when we time check it. Speaking of that, all right, we can do that. That's easy.
Indeed.
But yeah, you know what? It's actually my brain fart is a pretty good way to just segue out of that, because yeah, it can get kind of depressing when you talk about taxes. Oh yeah, that was the thing. I remember. Fuck, the DMV. You see 3 people.
Yeah, it's depressing too.
You see 3 people working at 20 registers. Just take a picture of it and being like, this is one of the worst bureaucratic jobs you can have. Why aren't there more people doing this? Why aren't there more people helping regular people out at the DMV rather than 17 dudes looking at one dude dig a hole next to the road for VDOT? You've seen it. We've all seen it.
Oh, yeah. But that's why they changed it. It's not all those dudes don't work for VDOT now. They contract that shit out.
Oh, yeah, dude.
But still, it's still taxpayer money going towards it. But those guys, I guess, got to watch it because they probably bid on that job. But it's they like VDOT. It's usually not VDOT guys that are flaggers now. They cut down on that shit, man.
You know what's funny? I don't know how many of these you've seen. But because I go on a lot of back roads and city roads and I'm all over the place. I've seen, everybody's seen the guy holding the sign.
Yes.
Stop and slow. Talking on a walkie-talkie to somebody a quarter mile down the road. Stop and slow. Those motherfuckers probably make like $40 an hour to just twist their wrist. You know what? Maybe I'm being a bit of a dick.
I'll be honest with you, man. Like I said,
not 40.
A lot of times those companies will get somebody from Labor Finders to do that job.
That doesn't surprise me.
They've changed it up. It used to be like
that. Hey, you know what though? You know what those people from Labor Finders are doing? Guaranteed. Like how long do I gotta hold up this sign? As long as it takes. Awesome. So you mean I start work at 6 o'clock in the morning and I don't get off until 6 o'clock at night? Yeah. Oh man, you pay by the hour? Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome. I've worked with Labor Finders. I've worked on jobs where, how long are we going to be here? I don't want to be here all day ripping insulation out of a crawl space, so I'm going to get up on the good foot and get this stuff cleared out, and they'll drag their feet. Anyways, here's the thing, though. Have you ever seen the stop signs?
Yes.
They'll just hang a stop. Like I'm talking like not on like Route 3 or whatever. I'm talking about like in the middle of nowhere. It'll be like right before like maybe a small bridge or something. They'll have a stoplight directing traffic while people are doing road work. The guy who twists his wrist, whether he works for Labor Finders or not, this isn't like Elon Musk's Starlink bullshit. They literally already have stoplights that'll time traffic to move through an area. And if they don't have that, have you seen the ones where it's an actual bar that falls down in front of the road? Oh, man, those are great. They just bolt this thing down, and it's got a green light and a red light and a fucking bar that blocks the road where they've got it coned off. It's like you can be replaced by a machine. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, man, that kind of goes against your having more people at the DMV. You're right. It does. But it's not because I want machines to take people over. I want the people who are turning the fucking signs to be able to communicate with one another. Have you ever seen?
Dude, I've seen them try to sit on a hill and lean this fucking sign out because they don't feel like standing.
Have you ever gotten the sign,
multiple turn?
Well, no, like they turn the sign where you go slow, and then you're driving and you see the other guy up on the hill.
And you see the stop sign facing you?
No, you're supposed to see the stop sign. You see the no, wait.
No, I'm talking about looking ahead to the other sign.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Okay, and then there's people coming.
Like, wait a minute,
coming at each other. Yeah, dude. You know how many times that happened after that ice storm?
Jeez.
Those dudes got complacent towards the end. I saw dudes, got the signs stabbed into the ground. They're looking at they're watching YouTube.
Yeah, they're looking at their phone like, oh shit.
So yeah, there's there's some points where it's like, look, we need people who know what the hell they're doing and care about what they're doing. And when you're one of 3 people who has to process 75, or not 750 people a day, you're one of 3 people who has to do anywhere from, how long's a transaction taking you at the DMV? Minimum 30 minutes, maximum a couple of hours. You're one of 3 people dealing with 700. Why aren't there more people there? If you felt like you were actually doing something instead of just fucking herding the cattle through the fucking door so they can pass their eye exam or get a real ID, you really care? No. You just want to blast through as many people as possible so you can go home. You don't care about your job. Even though you're getting paid good, it's stressful. Put more people where they need to be. Take the people who don't need to be where they are out. Easy.
You want to take a short pause?
Sure, man. I bet you. Can you hear this candy?
Yes.
Yep. Had to take a bit of a break.
Indeed.
I thought I was clicking the candy against my teeth too much, but I wasn't sure if it was coming through on the mic. And then after we cut off, he was like, yeah, definitely hear it.
I'd take a bathroom break.
But you know what the funny thing is, too? The seemingly nonsensical conversation, well, not germane to this podcast. You were talking about the strawberry jam.
Yeah, I don't think it's a jam.
Yeah,
it ran looser than a syrup.
It
didn't taste like strawberries.
The guy who gave it to me was the one who reminded me of like the original thing we were going to talk about until we started talking about taxes, and that was just they don't make them like they used to, anything.
Yeah, appliances.
Well, that was the main thing. Well, I was talking to him about 3D printing, and he was like, "Well, what do you do with that?" And I was like, "Well, so far, just kind of printed like some figurines and stuff." But then I started thinking about it. I was like, "What's a practical application?" I remember seeing a video where a guy just wanted to print protective parts for his cameras and reprint the plastic parts for his drones, his camera drones. And then so I was like, you know what? Some of these newer appliances, stuff that used to be made out of metal, is now made out of plastic. Just find the STL for the bolt or the O-ring or whatever, and then try and it's it's practical because it's practical because she has a a 3D printer. I wouldn't say go spend $2,000. I don't know how much they cost. If you want something like super high dollar, it's probably like $5,000 or more than that. But I wouldn't. I'm not telling you to go invest in gold. I'm saying if you know somebody who's got a 3D printer and you need a bolt, some plastic, goo gall for your washer or dryer, find somebody with a 3D printer and print it out instead of buying a whole new washing machine.
Yeah, no shit.
Because it's meant to break, and that's what reminded me of it. The products that we have. Doesn't matter if it's a car, these microphones we're talking to. Every single part of them, every single part in them has a shelf life. It's called... Damn, what was the word that I used? He was so impressed by it. It's not even my word. Planned obsolescence. Shit. You don't even have to have, simple electronics or a car or anything. Look at your phone. See how long the phone that you have lasts until it's unusable. You've got to get, maybe you held on to the iPhone 4 for like 3 or 4 years, and the 5 and the 6 and the 7 came out, and they were like, we're not running networks on 4 anymore. You have to get a 7 now. And yeah, they were coming out with new iPhones every year, but yeah, everything's got a shelf life.
Yeah, but with some of the appliances, it sucks a little more.
Oh yeah,
considering they used to last a lot longer, and a lot of times, if you just put yourself into it, you could get the part and fix it yourself.
You could look at a fucking cog or a wheel or something in the appliance that you had and see that it wasn't running correctly, and have think about some of the gearheads out there, who are tinkering on muscle cars and stuff. Yeah, some of them probably have, maintained some sort of, education for the modern car world, but it was like, you couldn't have somebody work on a car from the early 90s, on a car today, 20 years old. It was just baffled them because there's so many computer chips and sensors that go from one piece of machinery to the other, all of which is designed so you and I have to go to dude, I had to get my battery replaced on my work truck. I could have did it myself. Luckily, I remembered a technician who had the truck before me who disconnected the battery for one reason or another, and it completely shut the truck down. And the reason why is because even if a battery's dead, like it won't start the truck or whatever, there's just a little bit of current that lets the computer know that something's still there. He disconnected that, and when he disconnected that, the entire computer shut down. I recently went and got it changed by a guy who was like, yeah, we got this machine, we put this thing. It's basically a 9-volt battery that plugs into the cigarette lighter or the phone charger and just has just enough current to let the truck know that nobody's stealing the battery.
Jeez.
But yeah, batteries are expensive.
Yeah.
But I know positive from negative, and I can remove anything that's in the way of it. By the way, they had to remove 2 bars, 2 steel or aluminum bars that are a part of the frame, plus take the battery cover off, plus remove the cables, plus remove the bar that straps the battery into the. And it's like, it used to just be, there was like a bolt that held your battery in place so it wouldn't fly out.
Yeah.
And then a couple of nuts
It had a piece of metal. That
and then
it.
but now they put so much shit in front of it and rig it to your fuck you, dog. You're fucking up the recording. You suck.
He's just
doing
what he does,
you
man.
suck.
Hey, man.
We already took a break. We took a break.
Fuck you.
You had an opportunity and you lost it. You can get out of here, dog. I don't even.
Man, fuck off.
I know his bark. Like maybe
Stop looking at me like
maybe,
that.
maybe his growl isn't picked up on the mic, but that annoying bark, man, cuts into me like a dentist drill. Anyways.
Oh yeah, when you get that high pitch at the end. Go fuck off, man.
All right. The cool dog's distracted him.
What's up, girl? Fuckers. What's up?
But no, that was that was just it was a funny thing. But yeah, you mentioned the old appliances. I have, man, he waited. He waited for us to change the
Because
subject.
he's a
What
dick.
an ass.
No, fuck him. But no, I get what you're saying.
But no, like, there are some houses out there in this country, probably in tons of other countries around the world. There's some avocado refrigerators that are older than I am, but are still being kept running by just some just curmudgeonly old man who just won't go buy a new refrigerator, and he's like scouring junkyards to find these, steel parts for a refrigerator 50 years old. Now it's like, yes, you'd like one of our appliances. You just pick one, whether it goes in your laundry room or your kitchen. Would you like to get the 2-year warranty? Yeah, sure. I'll get that 2-year warranty. And then you keep that microwave or that toaster oven or whatever you bought, and it's 2.5 years. You're 6 months past the warranty. Then it fucks up. It's because they know. If it lasts longer than that, awesome. It's never going to last shorter than the warranty unless you fuck it up yourself or, factory default. But yeah, every single thing in every appliance you have, every nut, every bolt has an expiration date.
I mean, some things will last. I mean,
oh yeah.
now I guess it depends on your bar of when you're like, all right, I need to get rid of it. But like that, the oven/stove that's here is the one that was with this house, from what I understand. I mean, I've lived here 13. Oh yeah, I know. I mean, I've replaced the element in the oven a couple times. Oh,
yes, interesting.
I got two of 4 burners.
It's almost as if those parts were designed to last only a certain amount of time. You're lucky you were able to buy the replacement parts for them and not have to wait 5 weeks for the Maytag man to show up to your house and say, I don't have this part. Oh, yeah? Well, I told the lady on the phone the make and the model of the fucking thing, and you kind of come here with no parts for it? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Well, when can you come back? Oh, sometime between the 5th of December and the 5th of July, anytime between 9 o'clock in the morning and 3 months from now. And it's just, that's how that's how it's designed to go, unless you know how to fix it.
Now, I get it with the time frame thing where it seems like it's like that, but I do try to use things a certain way to where it's like I don't feel like I'm running it into the ground, because I do feel like that'll still help.
Oh yeah, but okay.
You gotta think.
Here's a perfect example of that. You're using the machinery that you bought much lighter than what something is advertised to use, right? So the thing that they say is like, this is the perfect washing machine. If you have a big family, you can do your clothes and your husband's clothes and your 2.5 kids' clothes and your dog blanket all in this machine. And then you think you can do that.
Like all at the same time?
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that certain things are advertised, right? Here's a perfect example, because I just did that. This week. Okay, how much detergent do you use for your clothes?
Less than a cup that they give you.
How much less? Half?
I use about 3/4 instead of the whole cup.
Okay, you don't even need that.
I believe it, but
dude,
with my work, man.
didn't know. I mean, you know what? Heavily soiled clothes.
I mean, it's not
one thing, dude.
Wrong word,
dude.
I don't soil myself, right.
I'm not. Most people know the verb.
I know, but it's a funny word for it. You pooped your pants.
Heavily soiled. Hey, man, my shit gets covered in insulation and cobwebs and everything.
Dude, I got mortar and concrete, which also isn't good for a washer in general, but I try to knock all that shit off. But still, though. The dust and everything else.
You know how much I used for a full load of clothes? There's that thing that goes 1, 2, 3, 4. I fucking fill that cup up to fucking 4, and I'm like, man, I'm doing good. You know why they put that 4 on there? Because some people are going to be like, man, I got a full load of laundry in here. I need to put a whole fucking cup. And they'll do a whole cup. They'll do a whole cup because they see the measurements and they they look at the measurements on the cup and they look at the full washing machine and they're like, it's got, you know what? If it was only 25% full, I'd put it at 1. No, you can have it less than 1 at a full load all the time. I didn't even know about that.
I mean, I don't fill it all the way.
I do.
Because
I did.
Dude, I did before too, and then I started thinking. I always try to think about the price of fucking detergent, man.
Dude, you know what? I pay.
That's
16,
one of those things that I flip
jug in
off
there,
at
man.
the grocery store. Oh, fuck you, Tide.
Dude, that jug in there, it was like $16 and it lasts me forever. If I'm the only one who uses that jug and I continue to use detergent the way I did this week with no change in how dirty or clean my clothes were, how good they smelled, there was no difference. I was like, man, I buy 4 jugs of this shit and I'll have enough to last me the rest of my life. I'll have to will the last 1.5 jugs to my grandchild using that little detergent. I'm being a smartass about it, but still, it's like they do this advertising stuff to you, and it's all done to make you purchase more.
We used to make our own detergent here,
dude. I was telling Leslie about that shit.
It's like
borax.
Borax washing soda, which is like a baking soda, but it's washing soda. And then there's like this certain type of soap.
Naphthalene.
And we use the cheese grater and get it real fine. And
Dude,
then we'd mix it all up.
You know what I loved about that soap? And you know what, man? Everybody here wants to chip in for the ingredients for it. If you're cool, like if you think that's better to run in the washing machine.
I contemplated. That's what I want to look into.
It's
totally cheaper. It is cheaper. I used to make it when we do it on the weekends, and we kept it in like a few mason jars.
When I lived here the first time, dude, and I washed my clothes here a couple of times. You know what that shit reminded me of? Fruit Stripe gum. I don't know which ingredients it is. If it is those ingredients, folks, and you want your clothes to smell like Fruit Stripe gum instead of, I don't know, Cotton Breeze or Caribbean Dream, whatever those ingredients are, I'll throw down on that, man. We'll make a big fucking 5-gallon. I remember you guys had a 5-gallon bucket of that shit.
Yeah, we made a whole shitload of it. I haven't seen the prices on that. Used to be like a thing.
What was it called? It was like borax, but it was called like...
No, it was just borax.
Like 40 horses or...
No, it was
like
just
that,
borax.
10 mule team or something.
The one we had was just called borax. So
no,
maybe
it's called borax, and then like it's whatever. But yeah,
whatever I don't remember. I just remember the big borax logo. But then we get the Arm & Hammer washing soda.
Oh, okay.
And that's a specific thing.
Now I gotta tell you, I liked the detergent.
I do too. It's
Windex,
quicker and makes
Windex and shampoo and other stuff. Not so much. Remember, I had to borrow y'all shampoo.
Mm-hmm.
And it had the vinegar and stuff.
Oh, I
don't know what
she used that shit. I didn't use that.
I used it. It was okay. I
didn't like the smell.
No, I didn't like the smell of it at all either. But I mean, it washed your hair.
Yeah. You give people credit for trying, but
No. You can go overboard on certain things. Mm-hmm. But the I feel like the stuff I know about detergent, like the main reason I would want to do the kind of detergent you guys used to do is because it smelled like Fruit Stripe gum, and I love that shit. I wouldn't mind my clothes smelling that way.
I heard that was finally taken off the market. I didn't even know they sold it still.
I know, right?
So there were probably people that bought it, sold it for like super expensive.
But you know what they say about smell?
Mm-hmm.
Smells like one of the most important senses linked to your memory.
Did the smell go away as quick as the taste?
That's what I was gonna say. That's why I remember the smell. You can't remember the fucking taste. That was where I was going with that.
Yeah.
No, it's all right, man. You threw the punchline right out there.
Shit would disintegrate in your mouth too.
Yeah. And then there was the drawings on the individual packages. You're like, is this a tattoo? It's like, no. You're just rubbing poorly printed ink onto your arm. I guess in that way it is a tattoo, but it was not meant to be. Hey, you want to stick in my Fruit Stripe? What color do you want? I want yellow. It doesn't matter. Yellow, green, red, blue. It all tastes the same, but it smelled really good. I like the smell of it. Remember Big League Chew? I'm so... Damn.
Yeah, appliances suck.
Shit, I remember that. Man, I can't remember if we talked about this on mic or if it was just me and you, but dude, do you remember pump wells?
Oh yeah, with the hand pump.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid seeing like a couple of them, you know? And then I even knew some people who like literally had a fucking, you know, like a well with like a bucket that they lowered down into the thing. They had indoor plumbing, but they still had a well that they would draw water from, or a pump well that they would pump water from, whether, you know, for the, you know, cows. If you don't see that no more, it's obsolete. But man, that was a cool thing.
No, you can get plumbers to install.
Oh yeah,
them.
yeah, you can. Yeah,
Cost
but
a little bit,
you
yeah.
get plumbers to install them. But have you seen one? Because I have not seen one.
No, I wish I had one.
The closest thing that you have is the well that's up there by the garden, where you just open up that handle. Yeah, it still requires.
I was gonna say I gotta have.
It still requires
power,
your pump.
But to have one of the other ones off to the side hooked
Yeah,
to it, that'd
dude.
be cool as fuck.
You can install it. We'll just put it right in your deep well. Just run a tube down to your deep well and drill a hole right into the fucking cap. Yeah. We'll find a way to do it. I'll be filling up 5-gallon buckets. 6 o'clock in the morning. But no, like that old technology though. I don't see many people utilizing stuff. The closest thing that I find is like woodworking tools. I still know a couple of people who use like old school lathes and stuff like that, but it's like, oh man, it's like a handsaw. Wow, what an ancient piece of technology. No, it's still a good piece of technology. That's why they still sell them. A hammer. How quaint. You don't have a pneumatic hammer that runs off of a lithium ion 2 amp hour battery? No, I just got this hammer, this bag of nails. No, it still works. They still do it today.
My main hand tool for work is ancient technology. A trowel.
It's pretty good. Yeah, even my most important piece of technology still requires batteries. I need a flashlight for a lot of my work. But still, pretty old piece of technology. You know what's better than a cell phone light? Any other light.
Yeah, I agree.
I've seen people do that shit. Try and do like an inspection with their cell phone light. And I was like, man, I'd tell that person to get the hell out of my house, because there's no way you can see what you're looking at.
What the fuck are you doing? You don't see shit.
Man, we had this thing. It was straight out of CSI for bed bugs. You put on these orange glasses, and you had this flashlight that shined like this blue light, black light shit. And the orange glasses with the blue light was supposed to make certain things pop, mainly like bed bug eggs would come up like bright white on the blue, or blood, you know. So like, of course, and I can't remember if it's CSI or what it was, but I'm like, who are you? Who? I really wanna know. Slowly panning a wall that I know has no blood on it. I'm in the show. You know, it turns out really... You know what turns out really shows up under those glasses? Huh. Cigarette ash, lint, everything. Dude, I found bed bugs one time, like live bed bugs. I'm like, oh, awesome. By the naked eye, by the way. The glasses and flashlight did not help. I put the glasses on and I shine it right on the bed bugs, thinking they're going to fucking glow like predator blood. It's like, no, I can't see shit. I could see them better with the naked eye than I can with these glasses. It was a bullshit gimmick.
Do you ever get tempted to take like a little black light in there when you do that bug inspection. See, just feel like get like a ew.
Well, no, that's the thing. You know, it's like I said, that was what that blue light and goggles was supposed to like. That was going to be one of the things it was supposed to help do. That being said, black light does help find like rat piss and mouse shit. Like you can find or rat and mouse piss. It'll be bright. Like, dude, it'll look like fucking. It'll look like magic marker under a black light. But no.
Like some predator looking shit.
Yeah. If it bleeds, if it pees, we can kill it.
Rest in peace, Carl Weathers.
Yeah, that sucked, man. I saw that. Did you send that to me or was it Rick? I think it was Rick.
It was Rick. I saw it though.
I was like, man, that sucks. You son of a bitch. What's the matter, Dylan? CIA got you pushing too many pencils.
What a great movie, man.
That and, I mean, dude, Apollo Creed.
Dude, he was great in the Rocky movies, man.
That sucks.
I saw some, dude, I laugh at some fucked up memes, but man, they were quick with the fucked up ones, man. Multiple fucked up ones with the scene from Rocky IV where he's laying down. And
Damn it.
it's like, really? Don't do that, man. But
You know
he's
what
Chubbs.
You know what I saw? I saved it onto my phone. Somebody took a picture of a Goodyear sign on the side of a store. And it was only the, I guess, OO in good. And YEA in year. And then it had a ghost of Macho Man. Ooh, yeah. I was like, that's good. I had to save that shit.
Cream always rises to the top.
That was great. Woo. That was a pretty good one though. Like, I mean, what was it? It was the 76, yeah.
Rocky?
Well, no.
The first Rocky?
The actor.
76? Oh, no, him. Oh, yeah, Carl Weathers.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
76, something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, good long run. Maybe not as long as you should have had, but almost, it seems like almost anybody famous is like, hey, wow, you lived into your 70s. You're like a Hollywood elder. You know, it's like, well, what's the normal lifespan? I don't know. Seems like around like, you know, anywhere from 24 to 50. You'll die of something. So many goddamn landmines you can hit.
Yeah, that's true. For some reason, ex-politicians all live to be 100 for some reason, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That and, that and royalty.
Isn't that strange? How are you staying alive so long? It's almost like you're getting blood transfusions, like you're a vampire. It turns out that they are.
Dun, dun, dun.
That was man, I wish I could remember what the it was like. There's like a company in California that like collects blood from like I think it's like 14 to 18-year-olds. And it doesn't go, the only transfusion it goes into is like just Silicon Valley people. And it's like, wow, you used to be just like vampires in like name, where it was like you were sucking the life force and money from the world. It's like, now you really have to have our blood. And then like the name of the company, like one of the big companies in California that does this is called Ambrosia. Which, if you don't know what ambrosia is, folks, what I've been told is it literally translates to food of the gods. It's like, are you fucking serious? And it exists. And this goes back to the silliness of CERN.
Yeah.
It's like, is it that in your face? You're like, I don't know. Ambrosia, nice. I like the
No,
I like
it is
the I like
that.
the A. I like the golden ambrosia font across like a light blue black background. I don't know if this is their real thing, But it's just like, yeah, it's a nice billboard. I drive past it every day as I'm going to work. It looks nice. No problem with that company. It's not like it's called Eating Babies. It's like, it's pretty fucking close to Eating Babies. You really gotta. They're literally taking blood transfusions from teenagers and injecting it into probably not even like 90-year-old people. It's probably like Silicon Valley 40-year-olds. It's like, yeah, Coke's not legal anymore, so we just inject the blood of young children into our veins and it gives us a pep. Which is not a whole lot false about that. I mean, shit, Olympic athletes blood dope all the time.
Dude, you bring that up, and I wish I had more info on this. I'm gonna find it, but it was about some messed up horror movies from back in like the late 70s and early 80s, and there was one where the killer, like, there was a dude who I think was helping to kill people. He was getting paid by this old creepy bitch, and then like he would kill these people, and then somehow she was getting the blood and everything, and it was doing shit to make her look younger constantly through the fucking movie. Mm-hmm. Then something turns out like where he fucks with the stuff, and then it fucks her all up, and she goes all crazy and turns into a fucking monster.
You know what? It's dude. Like I know.
But it made me think of that stuff when I heard about it.
I don't know what this movie is.
I need to find it. I only saw clips.
I can jokingly come up with a name for you. What do you just described the plot of Hellraiser? You've got to keep bringing me more bodies, and it's like the more people he kills, the more his flesh grows back. You remember that in the original fucking Hellraiser?
Yeah, dude, the way the horror was in it and the gore. God damn it. Rick and Morty would drop the dude's name a lot with some of the weird monsters. Cronenberg. I don't know if it was a Cronenberg movie or not.
I don't think so, but like
But he did some like fucked up shit like The Brood. Did you ever see The Brood?
The Thing and The Fly. I never saw The Brood.
Dude, when he did The Brood, and it was like this woman was pumping these fucking little kids out, but you never really saw their faces. And that part where they go to the kindergarten class, they look like just these kids, and they have these hoodies, and they all just start grumping on and killing this fucking teacher with these little hammers and shit. And then when a dude goes there to save this one little girl, and in the fucking house, and this woman, there's like all these little like kid demon things start jumping off, and they got these weird fucked up faces. Then he finds the woman later, and she's got this giant thing coming out from between her legs, and it was like pumping this shit out, and she like pulled one of the things out of her and starts licking it and everything. It's like,
no, I don't remember that one.
It was some weird Cronenberg shit, man. He just has fucked up special effects.
You know what's interesting about that is, I mean, granted, it was around Halloween. Jesus. And I can't remember if we saw it at GameStop or Spencer's, but it could have literally been at either one. Do you know where I'm still seeing people print memorabilia for? Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Dude, that one blows me away. Like it's held on, man.
I haven't seen it in forever. The last time I think I saw it was right when I was like a little kid. And it was right around that time when like channels could still get away with playing like really good horror movies. I mean, edited a lot, but still pretty good. I mean, dude, you used to be able to watch like, dude, they used to have the Friday the 13th marathons on like USA Up All Night.
Yep.
And it was
Joe Bob Briggs on
TNT.
And
it was heavily edited, but I mean, you still got the gist of it. Yeah. But I mean, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and I was like, nobody knows what this is. Nobody still knows except for people
that's a
our
popular
age.
one.
It's weird though that it is. It's like, why don't you watch Bad Taste?
I think it's
Dead Alive.
It's the clown.
It's the clown thing, but man, Dead Alive. I mean, yeah, Dead
Alive is fucking awesome, man.
it's like British Evil Dead,
dude. It's one of
still, dude,
I think it's Peter Jackson's second movie, possibly.
I would have loved to have seen an action figure instead of fucking Ash from Evil Dead. It was the guy from Dead Alive where he's got the blue sweater and khaki pants and the dress shirt with like a lawnmower, push mower
Yeah,
strapped to his
dude.
chest. That would be an awesome action figure. But what do we get? We get like 3 fucking main character clowns from
Dude,
Killer
hold
Clowns
on.
in Outer Space.
If they did an action figure of that and he came with the lawnmower, they'd have to do it like, remember the Ghostbusters? They used to come with a little ghost. Well, what would come with, remember the intestines and the bowels that are crawling around up in the attic? You can have like a strand of that comes with them.
Man, I want the action figure from Zombie Revenge. I think I talked about this. I'm the only person who ever remembers this movie. I think I talked about it on the third Mike episode. Zombie Revenge, 80 as fuck, big muscle bound dude. Looks like he could have been a stand-in for fucking Conan. And like while he's alive in the movie, he was like he got hit by a car full of like, drug taking, booze drinking punks in the 80s. They hit him with their car and kill him, and they get away with it. So he comes back from the dead to kill them. That's new Zombie Revenge. But he's coming back from a softball game, so he's like this big muscle bound dude, long black hair, with like super tight baseball pants, with a baseball. He looks like just a really buff dude who got like done with a little league game. It's like it's way too tight. And he's going around beating all these fucking teenagers who killed him to death with a fucking like softball bat. So it's like it's 80s, dude. So it's a metal baseball bat. I'm telling you, I'd love that action figure.
That'd
you know
be
what?
cool as shit.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna 3D print that bitch. I'll find the image and I will learn how to use the 3D printing software to draw the character from Zombie Revenge and from Dead Alive.
That'd be pretty cool.
Would be.
What if they made a figure of the fucked up uncle that goes there to try to cash in? Remember the one that's standing over the toilet having a hard time pissing? That was a weird scene. And it's like they got the camera pointed up at his face like it's in the toilet. And he's all like, and they all got those accents because they're in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Because it was the early
Wait, now
Peter Jackson.
was that Dead Alive as well, or was that Bad Taste?
They were both in New Zealand.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah, because that was still early for him and shit, Dude,
And my axe.
that'd be awesome if he did another fucking horror movie. Because he's done multiple types. I mean, I never realized till later that he did The Frighteners. Do you remember that movie?
I remember it, but I never saw
It was a pretty good movie, man.
Dude, oh man, I'm gonna find the ad for
Jake
it.
Busey's one of the ghosts.
Dude, there were all these horror movies. My mom used to work at a video store, and we would like you've been to a video store, right? So like every time there was a new movie, they would have like 20 VHSs of that movie.
Yes.
So the majority of people could rent it. Well, when that movie became old, they kept all but 3 copies, and then all but 2, and all but 1. Well, where do those other movie copies go? Typically to the family members of the people who worked in the video store.
Nice.
And I loved horror movies, dude. And there was like join the horror movie club, and it was like doo 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 doo, The Howling 2. The Hills Have Eyes. Just like, it's like you could get these movies delivered to your home. Like you join the movie club, and they would, you paid a due, and then they would send you horror movies every month. It's like, seems like a pretty cool deal, but I mean, not anymore. You just steal shit. I mean, dude, even in VHS times. They made.
Oh yeah, you hook the VCRs together.
You could hook VCRs together, but then pretty soon, VHS companies were just like, "Fuck it, I made a double VCR." Okay, your original VCR with recording software, you could put a blank tape in and record TV. No. I got 2 VHS slots. You could put your favorite movie in and then copy it onto dude. And they used to make like heavy duty, like double tape VHS things that would like.
Did you ever find it funny that video stores sold the packs of blank tapes?
Yes.
Because you could buy like
Yeah.
the 4 packs of shit, and it'd be like 6 to 8 hours.
dude-
Now, granted, I think the more of the time you used up, I think I don't know.
No. The
But
more
you could fit, like, 3
the
or 4
more you
movies on it.
re-recorded,
Oh yeah,
you would
that's-
actually see like shadow
Yeah.
images of the thing you record, especially if you're recorded from TV. But dude, they made these like it had a little button on it, I think, and you recorded it like it would slow down. It would slow down the basically you could record like it was like the first part of like like more data on a cassette tape. I had a recorded video that had Commando. I think it was RoboCop, Commando, and it was either Invasion USA or like Masters of the Universe, but it had 3 full-length fucking movies on it.
Oh no, dude. Me and Mike used to hang out with
old.
Steven Fairbanks and his brother Alan, right? And we'd go over to their house all the time. They lived right up the road. Dude, when they'd all go to fucking, him and his family, they'd all go to Blockbuster. They rent movies, man. They had shelves
Just
of
recording.
with a
Stealing
shit with
everything.
like 3 or 4.
Why not?
Yeah, we started doing it, but they had it down, man. Made a point to have all, like, at that point it was just 3 of them out, but like all the Lethal Weapons, right, the Star Trek movies, all of that shit, man. You know, it was funny. I was like, yep.
You know what sucks
got it.
about that shit, man? It still exists.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing new being created. The technology still exists. You can still enjoy it at your leisure right now. Another 10 years, none of that shit. Even the most perfectly preserved film will eventually deteriorate. It just will, and then it'll be gone. That's where, like, that movie Zombie Nightmare, I remember it was an old movie that nobody watched, and they didn't make a lot of copies of it. Like, another perfect example of that would be Dolph Lundgren in The Punisher, another early 80s movie that not a lot of people know about.
I remember that movie.
Yeah, but not a lot of people do. Nobody knows that, like, oh yeah, Dolph Lundgren was the original Punisher.
You know, they had a Captain America movie.
Yeah,
back in the day
yeah.
that sucked.
Oh
ass.
yeah, it did. Totally did. But the thing is that there are people out there who consider it their duty, and you know what, man, my hat's off to those people, because it's not just visual media, it's especially audio, dude. People want to keep famous speeches and, you know, wonderful pieces of music. They want to keep that, but there's people out there who want to keep visual media. And now the newest thing that I hear about is people who want to keep digital media. Video games are like, you know, that would disappear. And there's people out there who want to archive, like record and archive and have the physical codes for these games. And of course, you think Nintendo wants that to happen? You think Sony wants that? You think fucking Microsoft wants that to happen? No. Which is ridiculous.
Microsoft is the main one
Well, dude.
pushing for non-physical, though.
Here's like the well, I mean,
they're all gonna end. up
there are
doing it.
earlier examples than this, but Doom, right? The original Doom. The original first person, or you know what, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, if you want to go back to just first person shooters. Adobe doesn't exist anymore. Or no, Apogee, not Adobe. Adobe still exists. Apogee. Apogee became like 3D Realms. 3D Realms went out of business. Are you telling me that those or ID Software? ID Software is still around, but do you think they're making any money off of Doom anymore? No. But you can gladly go online and buy the full version of the game for $49.99.
What the fuck?
$39.99. Even that's ridiculous, right? You know what? $5. I'll pay $5. That's an old. I love Duke Nukem. I love Quake. I love Doom. I love those games. But it's like you're trying to sell an Atari game, which I can understand the price of an Atari game going up, because as cartridges disappear, supply and demand, you're never going to find another thing like that. But like for digital games, they can just be copied and copied and copied. why are you trying? I mean, I can get it. Make a little bit of money. I get that. But you're trying to sell a game that's like 25 years old for almost $50 when, I mean, shit, you can find like used Xbox games or PlayStation games for like 10, 11, $12.
Yeah.
It's a physical copy. And you ever notice that too?
Mm-hmm.
How much were Super Nintendo and Sega cartridges?
You talking about when they were first coming out?
When they first came out.
Dude, looking back, they were expensive.
Yeah.
They were $60, $70.
Yeah, okay.
I think Mortal
Now-
Kombat was $70 when
Okay.
it came out.
What about N64 games?
They were like $75 when they first came
Yeah.
out.
And what did they tell you? They told you, well, you've got the production of the cartridge and the cost of that game goes into the cartridge. Okay, cool. And we believed that the entire time that the only games you could get were on cartridges. Then PlayStation comes out. What were the first PlayStation games priced? $70.
Yeah.
What are the games now priced? $70. Even if you get
They
it
were
online.
back down to 60, and then a few generations before, I think
then,
it was like
but-
$50.
But then what did they
for
tell
some
you
of the
there?
bigger
Well, we've
games,
got to
but-
produce the cases. We got to produce the
Yeah.
jewel cases. We got to produce the CDs. Okay, cool. There's a physical thing that I can hold in my hand.
Yeah.
I get it. The price goes into that. Now you go to GameStop and you pay $72 for whatever new system game you have. Or you can get the digital version online. Right on the Xbox store, right on the PlayStation store. What is it? $72. Why is it the same price for a digital copy?
Mhm.
You had to make no product. You copied a digital file and spit it out into the world, but it still costs the same as the physical copy. And now it turns out, you know what? Buy those physical copies because one thing they found out, especially with like PlayStation, is like PlayStation is losing the rights to a lot of the games that they bought rights to. So now because they have lost those rights, they're going to pull those games off of their store, but not just off of the store, off of your hard drive. You paid for the game. You paid $72, and because they lost the rights to Activision to publish new games, they'll take your game that you already paid for.
And not giving you anything back for
Mhm.
it.
And dude, you think it's just the big systems? Buddy of mine, he bought like the pro version of a casino game on Google, right? Just bought the pro version. You get more games. Maybe you get more pictures for your deck or what the fuck ever. It doesn't matter. He got a new phone. Went to re-download the pro version of the game on his account that he had already paid for, and he couldn't get it. And now he's like, and he's one of those people. It's like $5. They're betting that you're not going to hassle them for $5. But he's like, hey, I had this game. I paid $5 for it. It's like, and I was like, it's the principle of the thing. He's like, it's the principle of the thing. I was like, yeah, it's the principle of the thing. You paid money for it, and now it's gone, and you want it back because you already paid for it. You shouldn't have to pay for it twice. He didn't even have the option to pay for it twice. They just stopped making the game. But he had the pro version on his old phone. Why can't he get it on his new?
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. It's another
Well, that's why I don't like that shit. That's why
physical copies. Or if you can't get the physical copies.
people like to bring up it takes up space. It's more
Dude.
stuff. But you know what? You have control of when you want to play it. What if you go a long time, then all of a sudden you pick something up again? Like, oh, I have this. I want to play it again. And it's not that you see you have it and you need to be online to do it. And then you go to play it. And because somebody lost the rights to something or they cut something off, you can't do it anymore. Fuck
Here's me.
that,
Here's
you know?
me. I've been stealing ROMs, downloading emulators, stealing ROMs, stealing the copies of games that I enjoyed, that I purchased and enjoyed, but because of my own negligence. And I get it. If I lose my hammer, I need to buy a new hammer. If I lost my copy of, Tenchu 2, Stealth Assassins, I need to buy a new one. But guess what? They don't have the old copies anymore. So I take them off the internet. And you know what? Anybody out there who cares to hear this, if you can remember the names of these games, you come at me, bro. Hexen, Heretic, Blood,
Hexen
Shadow
and Heretic
Warrior.
were the same game, weren't they?
There was Hexen, and then there was there was Heretic, and then there was Hexen Return to Heretic or something.
Oh,
Yeah, it
okay.
was the same game. One was a sequel. But anyways,
Because I forget.
I'm giving them too
played
much
them on
information. I don't
different
think they'd be able to come at me, bro.
But I think I had told you about this. Well, Nintendo had recently remade Super Mario RPG.
Yeah, okay.
The first one that came out on the Super Nintendo, they made was Square back in the day when they had a deal with them. They had re-released it on the Wii for the Virtual Console back when the Wii was a thing. I have it on there, you know. But apparently, because of deals with certain companies, it's pretty much been said when they came out with this remake that the original will never be released again because of certain deals and
you're
certain
afraid they're
people
going to take
not
it from you.
Yeah, and you know what? They might not, but that's why I just won't put that system online because of all those, you know. Oh, excuse me, gassy. But no, I if I pay for something, I want to be in control of it. It just doesn't feel like you have as much control. It's almost like, you know, what if something happens to your system and you download the games onto your system?
Yeah.
But if you had physical copies of the games, yeah, you'll have to start over again because, you know, if you're saved onto the system, that's gone. But if the game's on there and you lose the system, I mean, you got to buy the fucking game again and everything.
You had you probably never had one, but my first major next gen dude, I had a Sega.
You had a Dreamcast at one point.
Well, I had a Sega, and then for the longest time I had a Super Nintendo when everybody had the PlayStation and N64s, you know. And then I got a Dreamcast, and then after that they stopped making games for it. I got a PS2 and an Xbox. Everything else, those are the only things I ever had bought myself or had purchased for me for my Christmas, birthday, whatever. But the Xbox, the original Xbox, I could put music CDs on there and burn the CDs, dude. I had so many different audiobooks burned onto my Xbox, and I would listen to audiobooks, or I would dude.
Oh, I remember with the CDs.
Any first-person
used to have a shit ton of
any first-person shooter like Serious Sam or Black or fucking anything just a fast-paced shoot 'em up. You blast the music playing that shit, and it's God mode, just. But I had a bunch of audiobooks, dude. I had World War Z. I had a bunch of different audiobooks on my Xbox, and then just pooted out. And I was well, at the very least, I've got them on my Xbox. You know, I lost the CDs from whatever, putting them in my car, CD player too many times, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, even your physical media, you can take care of it the best you can, but eventually the plastic will degrade and it will wear out. Just like VHS film will.
Yep.
Yeah. And, or what was it? 8mm. What is typical movie film? 9 millimeter? I can't remember. It doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, they talked CDs would wear out after so long, dude. But I mean, they even talked about after so many years they would just wear out. But yeah. I still got a fucking CD around here of the first Wayne's World soundtrack that I think I got when I was 9 years old or something.
But eventually, the molecules and the plastics will break down. If not on the actual, because the main part of the CD, the plastic disc of the CD, it's just plastic. All the data's on that foil.
Yeah.
Once that foil starts to degrade, now you can keep it up by keeping it in
but it was
ideal conditions.
Back in the day, there was a thing where they were saying 20-something years. What I'm saying is, that's one I've had that's about 30 years old. So I mean, they'll.
You know what you should do? Especially with your trauma movies. Better start pulling them trauma movies out of the DVD cases, because I guarantee you those things weren't made by the best fucking CD printing company in the world.
Oh, hell no, man. Lloyd Kaufman, he ain't no. Bare minimum.
I guarantee you that. Better make sure ain't no bubbles in them fucking things. But
oh, no shit with them, dude. They reuse the same car crash scene in every fucking movie.
But what I will say is, of all the emulators that I've downloaded and all the ROMs that I've stolen, they were of almost all of them were games that I purchased and played as a child and wanted to go back to them. And that's the other thing too. The furthest I got in any of the ROMs that I've downloaded was like Stealth Assassins. This is it. You know, and it's because I like the missions. I don't even care about the story. I'm like, skip. I want to play the game. You know, whatever lore you were going to sell Final Fantasy or Mario or Zelda on is so well known now. It's like, come on, man. Do you really need $30 or $40 for this game that's 30 or 40 fucking years old? Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. No, it's ridiculous. That
there are a couple of nostalgia things. I like that little Zelda handheld you got, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'd love to have that.
The Game & Watch one.
Dude.
It's got three fucking games on that
I
thing.
can it's so simple of controls. Up, down, left, right, A, B, select, start. I can put that on my phone, no problem. But something about that little handheld device, just like, yeah, man, something tangible you can put in your hands, and you know it's licensed by Nintendo. So at the very least, you know that A and B, up, down, left, right, select, start's gonna fucking work.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness. But we have gone on quite a tear here.
Indeed.
And,
nice shooting the shit, kicking back.
Hells yeah. And what we're going to have to do.
Fuck taxes.
Yep. Fuck taxes. Fuck China. For real.
For real.
Oh, I told you about that, right?
Yeah, Llama?
Yeah, Llama said hi.
You doing
man.
all right?
Oh, yeah.
He's got such a positive smile all
Dude,
the time.
You know what the funny thing is? I can always tell.
Wish I had a smile like Llama's.
I can always tell when Llama's working at that particular gas station. Classic rock blasting in the parking lot, which you would not expect. You see this little Asian dude, and he's kind of quiet. I mean, he's doing everything except for putting his hands together and bowing at you.
That motherfucker probably loves Journey.
Don't stop believing.
Wheels in the sky keep on turning.
Nah, dude, he blasts 96.9 all the time out in the parking lot. He's got speakers that blast out in the parking lot. Didn't have that stuff at D-Mart. And I was like, yeah, Llama's in. I can just walk right in the door and be like, hey, Jimmy says hi, because he knows you and I from the other gas station. But anyways,
dude, he was fucking awesome, man. I remember when something got brought up about China, dude. I saw the passion in his eyes, man. For real. Like, he started pointing his finger at me. I was like, oh, easy, bro.
Dude, he's still like that, dude. I walk in there, he's like, yeah, man, me and Jimmy. You know, he's like, yeah. And then he's got his hand roll low, like under the counter, but he's like flipping them up. He's like, fuck China. And I was like, hey, man, you can just probably just go double fisting around here,
fucking
man.
awesome.
You're out in America.
He's kept, he means it.
Yeah, dude.
For real.
You know what? And he's got something that most Americans don't. A reason.
Yeah. Nepal doesn't exactly get treated the best by them.
Knowledge and a valid reason why. I know more about China because you don't know anything about them because you didn't live right next door, and I did, and I've got family there that I'm still worried about. Fuck China, for real.
Yeah.
But anyways, to the 11 or 6.5 listeners out there, I'm going to be trying to put this on Facebook. I think this is a real good one.
Indeed.
I'm going to be trying to put this on Facebook. If you see it on Facebook, I encourage everybody to share this with as many people as you like. You don't have to like and share it on YouTube. You just have to like it or not like it and just share it with other people.
Yeah. We'd like some opinions too. Throw it out there. We got.
It's not going to work, man. Give it up. We've said it like 5 or 6 times. We've got one comment. We got to fling this out to mean people who don't know us.
That's what I want. Yeah. Spread the word.
All right. Well, good night, folks.